Here. Another day in Los Angeles where I'm not doing my best. I'm really not. I feel absolutely terrible. My voice is all gravelly. Which brings me to the topic of discussion for today. The singing and the fun that we normally have, I'm going to reserve that for those that are already on my moderating staff and those who are patrons on my Patreon. I thought I would be kind and explain, what's going on. I applied for my PTSD for military sexual trauma disability compensation from the Department of Veteran Affairs. They denied me again. So I have to make some adjustments because of that as I continue fighting for my disability benefits. And one of those things that I'm going to have to trim are the open live jams. I'm still going to do live jams and sing. And if I have to, I will just lock it to just me in there if I can't seem to find anyone willing to donate to this channel to keep it going. But I'm hoping that there's some decent people who've had fun, who want to support this channel. So from now on, if it's a singing live jam, I'm going to just kick everyone out the room who isn't a moderator or someone who donates or someone who is a patron on Patreon. Those are my rules. If enough of the moderators and the patrons on my Patreon donate, then I will open it up again. But for right now, it's going to be very, very, very small groups of people who are going to be in there. I'm calling out Clint, I'm calling out Paula, I'm calling out everyone. I love all of you. I appreciate all the support that I have received from you. That was emotional, but I do need financial support that I'm not getting from the Department of Veteran Affairs. So I'm gonna have to enforce my rules, mostly because every time I do one of these live jams, I open myself up to a lot of trolls come in, a lot of rude people, people who just want to ask me how I was sexually abused over and over and over and over again. And I speak about it at length, but I'm not going to speak about it just because you asked me. So if that's just the way things are and people are going to be rude to me on here and they're not donating to the channel, then I'm going to enforce the rule that now it's just going to be moderators and people who donate to the channel through Patreon or the Cash App link that is there. Oh, yes, actually. Let me show off my outfit. I am styling. I love wearing this. It is absolute freedom. It is glorious. I feel so comfortable. And I will say it as a transgender person, I feel more in touch with myself wearing this outfit. This is who I am. This is my signature outfit because it describes all of me. It describes a person who loves taking long nature walks and feeling the breeze all over my body. It describes me as a punk rock, alternative guitarist and activist and human rights advocate. It describes everything. And good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to my channel. I'm glad to have you here. I don't know if you were able to hear any of that before, but I'll keep saying it because I want to make sure I give an ample opportunity for all of my subscribers to know what's going on now. And I'm going to put it into the description for this particular video and all future videos so people know the rules. And I have to put rules in here because, you know, YouTube allows me to control my room, and I'm just going to keep using the power that I have. You know, the Department of Veteran Affairs doesn't want to pay me because I have the personality type of someone that says no means no. Even under a military order, which makes absolute no sense, like when I was sexually abused. So thank you once again, everyone who has given likes and supported the channel. I appreciate you. I need to make some changes because I live in LA and I can live in LA for a fucking year, 2 years if I wanted, but I can't live like this. I'm unable to move from this neighborhood. And I need to move from this neighborhood. If I move from this neighborhood, maybe I could meet friends. I mean, true, I really dislike most LA people, but has everyone in LA been rude or had a hidden agenda or, you know, was part of a cult or whatever this LA thing is? And the answer is no. I mean, sometimes they're just regular people here, and that's at least what I want to believe. But just today, I was contacted by someone from a dating site, and this person was very superficial, just said, "How are you?" And then immediately launched into, "Send me pictures of yourself." I already have body image issues, and I felt uncomfortable because we've never met. We've never even spoken over the phone. We were trying to get to that point, and then I just had way too many PTSD triggered episodes that I just said, I can't meet you for a date right now, which is unfortunate. This guy is extremely attractive, like amazing body, and seems like a nice person, but it rubs me the wrong way. Move to Texas is cheaper and people are wholesome. You are preaching to the choir here. I ran away from Texas because I thought I would be happy, you know, in a bohemian lifestyle, you know, joining beach cleanups and cleanups in Silver Lake and, you know, restoring the environment and, you know, talking to people about solar energy in order to improve their lives. And that wasn't the case. I came to LA and, you know, people have violently assaulted me while calling me a faggot. People have been very rude to me for being transgender. People have just jump scared me. Like, I had my own manager see me on the cameras and then decide that she was going to hide behind the door as I exited into the lobby just to freak me out. You know, I've had, one of my neighbors sick their dog on my service animal. I mean, I think of Texas and I think, was every day perfect? No, but everybody knew me, everybody liked me. I was the most liked person in the entire town that I was living in. Everywhere I went, people knew me. They knew me as a weird, funky, transgender person who wore women's clothing and had a full beard, mustache, everything, makeup. I mean, I can't describe it. I had my nails done, I had everything, but nobody cared. They were more tolerant. And let me remind you, yeah, I spent most of my time in my lovely gay neighborhood, but I had to get there from other places. And no one said a thing. No one cared. They just, and went about their day. There wasn't even a you go girl kind of thing. It was just, you're living your life, I'm living my life. I have more important things than to harass a transgender person. LA people, it's all they can do. All they can do is harass transgender people. I ran away from Texas too, haha, but there are a lot of good people in Texas, depending upon what part you move to. Hi, I'm Rashawn, I think I can help you. Tesseract! Welcome, Rashawn, to my channel. Texas is really accepting when you find the right people, the right place, the right town. I did. I absolutely did. I miss it. I mean, these people threw me birthday parties. They were extremely kind. Not every day was perfect, and I did have my fair share of troubles there, but I was going to begin this podcast, and Cowboy Take Me Away by the Chicks was playing. My cover of it was playing. And I just think that that's more of the type of person that I want to date. I want to date someone who would rather spend their time picking up litter against a beautiful sunset than going to the movies. There's a certain guy who's on my social media right now, and that's all he does. And all I can think is, I want to love you. I want to love you because I want to join you in what you're doing there, because you shouldn't have to do that alone. And he's very attractive, but I love his beautiful spirit that he decided this is important. I'll share the journey, and I guess if people want to like, they like, whatever, but he's doing it anyway. He's doing it because it just needs to be done. I do that too. Do I do it enough? No, I don't, because I'm scared for my life when I leave to go anywhere. I'm scared of being raped. I'm scared of being assaulted. I'm scared of being harassed. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tesseract, for that prayer. Why not plan to go back, live happy, and seek happiness? Focus on the things that give you joy and let no one take it from you. It's a hard conversation that you have to have. And maybe it is because I'm older that I can say things like happiness is an illusion. It really is. I could find the man of my dreams, the cowboy that I've always wanted. But is that really going to make me happy? Because it's never going to be me. I want it to be, but it's not me. I'm a punk rocker. I'm an engineer. I'm a humanitarian. I'm a community leader. I'm not someone who can just be satisfied with watching the grass grow. I want someone who wants that too, but that doesn't make me happy. What makes me happy is knowing that when I have my disability benefits, the day I get my disability benefits, I'm going to Mars. Guaranteed. Nothing would stop me at that point. I'd be the first person on Mars. You are absolutely right. People have insane standards when it comes to beauty and, social status and things like that. I'm not into any of that. I mean, for me, I think beauty is just human kindness, caring about inanimate things like a city that you see as buildings, but it's so much more than that. There are people who live there, there are animals who live around it, there are plants and trees that are part of the city. And when you see someone picking up litter, they are reestablishing that connection between yourself and an ecosystem that you used to be a part of. We used to be people who said, no, you don't leave your litter there. You leave your litter there, you will fight the entire tribe. Take whatever you have and use all of it. I mean, we used to hunt deer, but when we hunted deer, we used everything. And I'm speaking as a Native American person for a second, a First Nation. When we would hunt deer, we would hunt it for meat because we were hungry. We were truly hungry, not I'm bored or I'm really thirsty and I'm confusing thirst with hunger. There was hunger. But they didn't stop there. They said, oh, well, I need a knife or I need to honor the spirits, so I'll make some jewelry out of it and I'll use this to keep a record of how the tribe is doing. They used every single thing. They used the antlers, they used the bones, they used everything. And right now, I'm upset. I'm upset because it is 2025. I'm sorry, it hurts to say stuff like this. It hurts to say that I don't really feel a connection to most people as a genius, because when I think of the people who enjoy fast food, enjoy going to these pop-up restaurants where, you know, they present you your food, but they have to present it to you not on a plate, but wrapped in a wrapper, wrapped in, you know, paper, wrapped in plastic. And you say to yourself, why can't you use biodegradable material? Why can't you just give them a plate? Instead, you hand them a tray like they're still in elementary school. I'm going to go back into the comments here. I pick up litter all the time. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I cannot say thank you enough because it is very rare to see people do that. I don't even feel like doing it all the time. And I hate myself when I walk past litter. Absolutely feel wretched because I say, am I really like everyone else? Or am I a person who sees the value of this town? Now, this town has assaulted me and called me a faggot and then watched as I was beaten. But this town also said, you're one of us, here's a stage, sing that national anthem, make us proud. So for that, I'll pick up some litter. Despite the fact that I feel utterly betrayed by this neighborhood. I have heard of that trash island in the ocean. I brought it out in my channel several times because I want people to feel the guilt. Feel guilt that every time you use plastic instead of another material, every time you support a company that uses plastic, it goes somewhere. And you think it's being recycled, but no, it isn't. It isn't. Not all of it. And Tesseract, very good comment there. Thank you so much for your addition to this conversation. I don't know how to feel. I really don't, because with the Department of Veteran Affairs, they're putting me in a position where it's LA makes me so uncomfortable. I don't want to live in LA. It's like I could go back to Texas or whatever area that I feel is a little bit more wholesome. But it's not enough for me. It's not enough to sit idly and not protest big companies like Coca-Cola and Pepsi and say, do you think that your customers would give two shits if you just changed all of your bottles and packaging to paper? If you handed them a carton of Coca-Cola, would they even care? They will look at it, open it, sip it, taste exactly the same, and then they go about their day. A biodegradable container of that instead of a 6-pack of aluminum cans covered with an O-ring that dolphins swim through, and it locks onto them. And they don't have hands. They can't just reach up and grab that and get it off them. They can't do that at all. And every time I see that, I say, why can't we change? Why do we just accept it is 1999 with better cell phones? I want to move to Asia. I would love to do that. I am super skilled as a linguist, and if I really put my mind to it, I could probably pass the linguistics test within probably a month, and then just live as a Japanese education teacher, and then that would be lovely. But I'm just of that mindset that I joined the military because I'm fighting for my country. And I know that I'm a veteran now and I'm not in fatigues, and I wear a Scottish kilt, and I, have makeup, and I do my nails. That doesn't stop me from being a hero. It doesn't stop me from fighting for your ability to breathe clean air. It doesn't stop me from cleaning up the town so that people can feel pride for where they live. Tesseract, I get that question in every single live that I do. So my father was a Brit. I had most of my mates who were Brits or Aussies or Scots or Irish or Welsh. So I sound a little bit of everything. And then, of course, I live in America. And as much as I try not to speak to Americans, I watch a lot of American television. So you will hear a little bit of American, especially if I'm telling a joke or I'm trying to be really cheeky about it. Or, I'm singing country music. If I'm singing country music, I kind of sing country music as someone who sings country music in the sound and the dialect of the song that I'm singing. And that's just me. I think that's more human. I think it's more human to admit that you're a different person in different situations. A police officer who has to pull someone over for speeding is very authoritative. They are extremely commanding. They domineer over them. In another setting, back at home, they could be in a full princess gown having a tea party with their children. Does that stop them from doing either? No, I think you're a different person in different situations. US born, foreign raised. Pretty much. And there's nothing wrong with that. The Department of Veteran Affairs is denying me my veteran benefits because I speak the good English. Basically, my accent is so off-putting that they say there's got to be something wrong with you, and it's just, look, I didn't really fit in with that. We didn't speak that way at home. We really didn't. My mother spoke perfect English. My father is English, so yeah, I'm a reflection of that. I'm not a reflection of yo 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 what's up, because I'm sorry, I didn't really hang out with her. Nothing wrong with that. It's just not how I was raised. No, I've had some good interactions with police officers, but I've also had, giant PTSD freakouts where, it feels like they were annoyed to have to deal with it, annoyed to tell me, no, it's not this agency, it's the other agency. It's difficult because I understand their position. They'd rather, do anything but be an LA Metro assigned police officer. It's dull, boring, work. You pretty much have to deal with homeless and junkies all the time. But those homeless and junkie people are just all along public transportation. And as an environmentalist who doesn't want to own a car, drive a car, learn anything from that terrible invention, I want to use public transportation, but I can't seem to do that when I have people throwing hypodermic needles around on a train, or I have people using drugs on the train. Just take the meth and just. I lived in New York. I've never seen that done. Junkies rode the train, they did, but they weren't behaving like that. They knew that if they behaved like that in New York, they would fly out. The passengers wouldn't put up with stuff like that. LA people, they just, oh, someone's doing meth, look out the window. Oh, is that person throwing a hypodermic needle? Oh, look out the window. Selfie. That's the kind of attitude that LA people have. So, yeah, I want to go to market to pick up some food, but I also say I really don't want to deal with any of that. I just don't. Let's get into the chat. Nah, bro, just carry mace and wear a mask. I see people smoking weed and meth all the time. I'm sorry to hear that. I really am. But it's your city too. Never forget that. When it's something like that, or the pollution, or potholes, change.org/clear LA smog. My petition to use recycled materials, and thanks to Clint Gage, hemp concrete in order to fix our roads. Fix American roads. Something a president should be saying. A president can say, build a wall, or we're going to improve American economy by raising taxes on everyone. But my president refuses to say, let's fix the damn roads that we use. I don't check every tweet, so if President Donald Trump has said that, please enlighten me. But I've lived here and I haven't seen any change. I don't want to fight a meth head. That's like challenging an Avenger. Very funny, very funny. But it's also very true. LA is using the homeless to make a barrier from east side of the county to the west side of the county. There is a human barrier. There is a zombie brigade that you would have to go through in order to see the West Coast. Because if you land in LAX, they want you to see the beach. They want you to see, the lovely dance parties there, the cool, relaxed attitude, and think this is all of LA. And so you might come back there. They don't want you to see that the rest of the entire area is like living in some drug cartel. It looks like a Robert Rodriguez movie. It really does, where I live. Graffiti everywhere. It's just terrible. I hope that this enlightened people. I'm going to invite you, Tesseract, and Everyone who's been in the chat, please like, subscribe, smash that alert button, you know, because I do sing on occasion, and some people find it kind of cool. I think you might too. But I will close with, big change is coming to this channel. And change is not necessarily a bad thing. Should I receive enough people donating and subscribing to my Patreon, I might be able to stay in an apartment that I currently have instead of being homeless in another city. 2, I'll be able to provide adequate nutrition for myself and my service animal, who, by the way, I will always take care of no matter how destitute I am. She comes first. And 3, I could actually upgrade the quality of the channel. I would like to make improvements to the channel. I'd like to get a better camera, which means I'll have to buy a new cell phone or get a webcam, improve the internet, you know, improve the microphones that I've tried to use in the past. So if you feel inclined to donate, I mean, you could donate anything, you know, you could donate a quarter. I'm still going to say thank you. You know, I have tiers on my Patreon, and, you know, I guess now I'm going to start enforcing it. So my singing live jams are going to be a tier for faithful patrons in order to make it a more welcoming atmosphere and to ensure that I can continue to make content. Thank you everyone for joining me. I hope to see you again soon, and take care of yourselves.